One of the areas of our practice is called Toate Jitsu. Literally, that's a Japanese, old traditional Japanese term. Toate Jitsu. Toate means to strike from a distance. So Toate Jitsu is sometimes also called Toate no Waza, technique of striking from a distance. When we use the English terminology, which is actually more common, the English terminology we use is for Toate no Waza, we say no touch technique or no touch knockout or something like that. Also, I should probably mention that Toate is the Japanese term. The Chinese term is Ling Kong Jing. By the way, it's not just that old Japanese martial artists would do this technique, and it's not just that Chinese martial artists are familiar with this technique. The Russian Sistema guys do it all the time too. So I keep hearing people say, "Oh, it's a bunch of garbage. That's a bunch of crap," and Dillman and his people are just, they're just carnival barkers, and you can think what you want, but there's just been way too many people doing it to argue that it's not real. By the way, that's actually what it comes down to. You see, if you say it's impossible, it's not real, then it means it can never be done. What we say is it is real. So here's what we have to do to prove it's real. We have to do it once, and then we have to repeat it again. And we've done that. There's no question that this is a real technique. I mean, there is a question about what is actually going on here. And so, yeah, you could throw out lots of theories like, oh, it's just a kind of hypnosis. Okay, maybe it's just a kind of hypnosis. Sensei Dillman used to say, I'd love to be able to hypnotize people like that. But yeah, maybe it's just a kind of hypnosis. Maybe it's what we say it is. Energy directed through intent. Maybe it's something else altogether that we don't know anything about. But that's different from it's not real. To say our interpretation or our explanation of what's happening is not correct is not the same as saying nothing is happening. So I want to be really clear about that. If you're going to look at, especially the sort of esoteric, odd, surprising, edgy aspects of the martial arts, these are the questions you should be asking. Not is it real, because once you've seen it, there's something happening. But you should ask the question, is their explanation accurate? Is this reproducible? Is this useful? And by the way, I should say one last thing. You'll hear somebody say, well, one of those guys tried to do no touch on me and it didn't work, so clearly it's not real. I've seen guys get hit in the head really, really, really hard and just look at you, and then touched on a pressure point and drop like a stone. There are boxers, for example, they can take enormous pounding to their skull, but they have what's known as a glass jaw. You watch an MMA fight, and you see some guy just getting pounded and pounded, and then all of a sudden there's a little kick to the lower ribs, and he goes down like a stone. Every technique doesn't work on everybody. And even techniques that generally work on people don't necessarily work on the person in the same circumstances. You change situation, and maybe it doesn't work. So to say that a technique, if that's your criteria, they did it on me once and it didn't work, that's a terrible criteria, because anyone's been in a fight, is punch somebody in the head and have them just look at them like, really, that's the best you can bring? So there is no technique that's 100%. We don't claim to be able to do no-touch technique on everybody. I actually think that it's a little bit like paper, scissors, rock. I can maybe do it on this guy, but I can't do it on that guy. But maybe this other guy can do it on that guy, but can't do it on this guy. That seems to be it. Now, would we like to be able to make it 100% technique? That would be awesome. Maybe in another 20 years. Hey, check back with me then. I'm Chris Thomas, and these are some reflections from the MasterClass. Thanks for watching. Now go train.